Hello and welcome to Matt's Garage. Another little PT Cruiser tip video here. This is for the dreaded timing belt. I'm not going to be changing it today. I'm just going to be inspecting its condition, and this is something a lot of you can do. Some of you won't be able to because you'll have air conditioning lines that are routed in the way of the cover. This one doesn't have air conditioning, and even some of the ones with air conditioning, you're still able to get this cover off. It just depends where the lines are routed, which varies according to the model and the year. For example, I know I've taken this cover off on an 03 GT, and it came off with the air conditioning lines in place. I'm just going to go ahead and get this one off. I'm going to have to take this upper mount off here, and this little bracket here out of the way, and probably this ground strap off, and then I should be able to pull that out and back and up, and then we'll get to the belt, and I'll show you the belt and what to look for there condition wise. Now there is a little access cover here, and you can take that out and try and get a flashlight or a mirror or something in there and have a look at the belt, but you're probably not going to be able to see enough through there to really ascertain if the belt's still in good condition or not. So that's why I'm going to be taking the entire upper cover off here and get a good look at the belt. Okay, so this mount here is actually just to keep the engine from pulling forward under load. It doesn't really support the up and down aspect of the engine staying here, so you don't have to support the engine in any way. You can just take this mount off and it'll be totally safe. It's actually the center mount that supports the weight of the engine. The upper and lower one keeps it from twisting. So these are 15mm bolts here. This is an 18 here. This is a 10 here. So just gonna get all those out. Okay, you can see I totally disconnected the mount there, and the engine did kind of twitch a little, but it never went down, so we're all good. Okay, so that would also cover you if you were changing your upper mount. That's how you get it off. You could take it off there too, because the new mount won't come with this piece, but it might be easier to get that off out of the car if you have a vise to put that in, whatever you decide there. This mount's still in good shape. You can kind of twist them and see. You can see there's like little cracks when I twist it, but there's no big rips or anything in it. Still in good shape. That's what you look for. You look for rips around those areas there. Okay, now we're going to get that ground out of the way there. 10mm. It's a good time to clean up your ground there while you've got it apart. And then this one, I think we can just unclip it, twist it back. And then put this up out of the way. Okay, so this is an 8mm bolt here on the actual cover. And we're just going to use a hand socket. You don't want to really use power tools on this plastic, because if you break it, that's kind of a deal breaker. I'm not sure if there's more than one fastener. Yeah. Down this side, there's one right at the bottom there, so I'm going to have to get it as well. Looks like there's plenty of access to still get it, even with this longer 8mm socket. Okay, and now there is one more bolt right down here, and it's just midway down there. It's not down far at all, just a couple inches from the top. Very easy to access. That's the thing with these PT Cruisers. Everybody says they're hard to work on, but they're really not. They look like they're tight, and then you get a few parts out of your way, and all of a sudden everything's opened up and you have all the room you need. Okay, so we've got the 3 fasteners out of the cover now, so we're just gonna attempt to get it wriggled out of here, which I know is possible. I've done it before, so I know they kind of hook over the inner cover there, so you just gotta stretch it up a little bit until it gets off of there. And then it is behind this mounting block here, so it's a little bit of twisting, and it's under the hose as well. There, it's almost to stretch this hose up a little more. Just need to get my light in here and get a better look. It's just barely catching down there. I don't know how much of this you guys can see. There we go. So just don't get rough on it, because I have seen a lot of people break these covers. They break easier than you'd think. And then like you see here, you can just kind of snake it back. And then and right out. So you can see it's all oily there. That was my concern, is that it's really oily in there. And you can see how that hooks right there. And it kind of hooks in behind the mount there. So you just got to get those areas cleared. And also this peg here sticking out, it's kind of annoying. So you just got to wriggle it around. It will come out. Now we'll get a look at that belt. Here that belt is all exposed, and you can see it's really not getting that oily, thankfully. So it looks like I can run it for a long time yet. These 2.4s, if they do get an oil leak on the front end here, it's actually got a drain channel to drain all the oil down to that corner, and it will drip off right under the alternator. So that has worked in our favor and kept this belt pretty dry, and as a result, it's still in really good condition, and it's got a lot of miles left in it. You want to look down here where you can just see where it tightly wraps around that tensioner idler pulley there, and you want to check between each cog and to see if you can see any evidence of cracking. Just look for wear on the tips of the cogs too. If those nylon cords are kind of like showing through frayed and stuff, that's not good. Like this one is, they're all molded into the rubber, but if it gets really worn, you'll start to see them hanging out. And just, you know, check the tension is a big one right here. Press it up and press it down and make sure that it can't contact this cover, because if it can, that's too much slack. But that one's still good. If yours is like that, about that amount of deflection, you're just fine. It's got a ways to go. It's really bad if they become slack because they start riding up on top the cogs, and that's when you get a broken belt or whatever. A combination of that and the fact the belt is weakened will lead to it breaking. So definitely if you're seeing any signs of cracking or wear or slackness in here, you want to just go ahead and replace it. But this one I'm going to be running for another 40 to 50,000 kilometers. As long as this cam seal holds up for me, that's about another 25-30,000 miles. Just to give you an idea. So I'm going to clean this all up with brake clean and get it back together here. Thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I'm going to have a lot more PT Cruiser content coming up in the future. So if you own one, make sure you're subscribed to my channel.